Radxa has launched this KVM over IP called the Radxa Linker that is nearly the size of a USB flash drive. It has this HDMI input port for display, a USB-C port for keyboard, mouse and to power this device, and finally a USB-C port for Ethernet such that you can connect the KVM to your router via this USB-C to Ethernet cable. Along with this, in the box you get these two USB-C cables and this USB-C splitter cable. Now apart from connecting the KVM using the Ethernet to USB-C cable, you can also connect to the KVM directly using the USB-C cable, or you could connect to it wirelessly by enabling the Wi-Fi hotspot on the KVM, or you could also connect the KVM to your Wi-Fi so that you can access it via your Wi-Fi network. Now all the KVMs that I have tested, you could access a KVM only via the web UI, but this KVM provides programmatic capabilities such that you can generate an access token to access the KVM and then just use the APIs provided to interact with this KVM. For example, I tried this snapshot API using a curl command and I was able to get the snapshot of the desktop view on the remote machine. This is really something cool and I haven't seen this with other KVMs yet. Apart from this, you can get about 12 GB of eMMC storage such that you can use this storage to mount some image files onto the target machine. Now once you connect this device to your target machine via the USB cable and then power this with this USB splitter, you can access the device by going to linkr.now and then this will help you search the KVM that is connected to your network. Now once you click on this, you can access the KVM's web UI through which you can access the target machine via the KVM. Now once you log in, this is what you get to see. So let's look at the various options that this KVM provides. So firstly, let's go to the network section here. Here we can change the network configurations, like we can set it to DHCP or we can change it to manual and then edit the various network settings here. Then we can also change the USB network configuration in case you are accessing the KVM using the USB cable. Then we can also go ahead and connect this KVM via Wi-Fi here, wherein you select the SSID from here and then connect to the Wi-Fi network. Then we have this Wi-Fi hotspot settings wherein we can configure this KVM to act as a Wi-Fi hotspot such that you can connect to this KVM via the Wi-Fi hotspot. Then let's go to the other settings wherein we have the screen settings wherein you can enable full screen. We can change the scaling mode to be adaptive or regular. Then we can also set the resolution here, the image quality as well as the video mode. So the default video mode is using WebRTC. We can always change it to WebSockets here, and with this you can access the target machine screen using WebSockets. I'm going to keep it to the default settings here. And with this, now let's go to keyboard and mouse settings. Here we can enable screen keyboard by enabling this option here, as well as we can enable or disable the keyboard input here. Then we have this quick paste section wherein we can actually specify some text that we want to paste onto the target machine. Then we have this shortcut key input wherein we can specify certain shortcuts like this Ctrl-Alt-Delete here. If I execute it, this is what will happen on the target machine. We can go ahead and add some more shortcuts here and then confirm the shortcut here. Then we have certain mouse settings here, like we can disable the mouse integration or we can not show the local cursor, that is we don't want to see the local cursor from the target machine, as well as if you want the mouse mode to be absolute or relative. Then we have the scroll direction, the scroll speed and an option to even prevent hibernation using the mouse settings. Then apart from this, let's go to the virtual devices section. Here we can upload some image as well as ISO files such that we can mount them on the target machine. Now we have around 12 GB of space on this KVM such that we can upload some images or ISO files that can be mounted on the target machine. Now the next part that is new here, that is this virtual sound card with which we can listen to the sound from the target machine. So this is one more option that you can enable and you can listen to the sound from the target machine. Then if you go to the system settings here, we can access the user information as well as this access token that we can generate here such that we can access this KVM programmatically using an access token. So for this, we have this guide here wherein we have this public APIs through which we can access the KVM using this curl command here. And these are the various endpoints that you can use in order to control this KVM. And for this, you need the token that you would generate from this section here. Now, apart from this, you can also enable two-factor authentication. Then we can also control which LEDs are lit up, like the HDMI LED, the system LED, how bright you want them to be. Then we can also go ahead and change the language here, the device name. You can also update this KVM by uploading the packages that have been released on their GitHub release repos. Then we can go ahead and also reset this device here and also reboot the device. Then in the next section, in the advanced settings, we can add devices that we want to wake up using Wake-on-LAN option. Then apart from this, we can also enable Tailscale integration such that we can access the machine remotely over the internet using your private Tailscale network. Then apart from this, we have this about section to see the device information. We can also change the theme to light mode also here. We can log out from this KVM and we can also see some notifications here. Now apart from this, we have this config section tool wherein we can add certain configurations that you would like to quickly access. Like for example, I can add Ethernet, I can add quick paste here, full screen mode, and then on saving these options will be available here for you to quickly access them. Now apart from this, we have this option here to enter full screen mode. We can also take the screenshot of the target machine, like for example here, and download the screenshot that you have taken. Then you can also record the target machine by clicking on this option here, and with this you can also download the target machine screen video with this option here. Now I'm going to close this, and then you have this option to enable or disable mouse settings. Apart from this, you also have this keyboard section wherein you can enable or disable the on-screen keyboard as well as the keyboard integration. So now these are the various configurations that this KVM provides. Now, because of its small size, there are a few things that you should be aware about. The Ethernet speed is capped to 100 megabits, which means you can get up to 2K resolution at 30 Hz, which is still pretty good enough to get high quality stream over the Ethernet. Apart from this, I really like that we can access a KVM via APIs such that you can make use of this Linkr skill along with your AI agents such as OpenClaw to communicate with the Linkr via APIs to control the target machine. I would like to know in the comments below for which purpose you would use these APIs to control the KVM. Now, this device costs about $45, which is a pre-sale price that I have found out from the Radxa team. However, the final price will be available once this device goes on sale. Now, if you like to see such videos about making your home smart and about tinkering around home labs, then make sure to hit that like button as well as hit that subscribe button for more such videos to come. Now, you may like these videos here, so go check them out. Till then, I'll see you in my next one.